This is going to be a rough episode.
I think this will be a disaster, but Daniel's going to make it turn out right.
I'm going to put the goo on it and it's going to shine.
Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrible Opinions podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kenny.
I'm a horrible, faithful Daniel.
This is the second time we did this. I'm Ryan.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And today we're talking about the classic, perfect movie that everybody loves.
Everybody here loved it.
Everybody here loved it. The Last Lovecraft, Relic of Cthulhu.
I loved it so much, I fell asleep twice.
Okay, let's dive right into Last Lovecraft, Relic of Cthulhu.
I see what you did
tell
there.
me about it, boys.
Oh, dive like you're underwater.
Like you're underwater, not in a kiddie pool, like what happened in this movie.
You son of a bitch.
So we have in this movie.
Oh, Ryan's doing the thing?
I'll do the thing because I'll do it.
It's his favorite movie.
This is my favorite. This has turned out to be my favorite movie of the year.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell my children's children about it probably.
Okay.
So we have relatives of H.P. Lovecraft through a bloodline, which the movie also acknowledges doesn't exist. We have some relative of H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, did I screw it up already?
No, I was just saying, like, you could be related to him. He had family.
You could be.
Although I don't think he did have family.
I don't think he did.
Well, he did
not have any kids.
There might not.
Well, no, I know he didn't have kids, but he probably had, like, a uncle
or like a great uncle or something, or a great great uncle,
where the line would continue. Probably, I don't know.
Like there's probably branches before it got to him.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Continue.
And because of that, we got this movie, because there's the Miskatonic University. There's people digging up relics. Some bad fish people find a relic, but they need the other half of the relic, which the Miskatonic University has, and they decide to send their oldest gray-haired fighters in the world off to go bring this relic to one of our boys. I can't remember his name. What was his name?
Our main character names were Jeff and Charlie.
Jeff and Charlie. I assume this. Yeah, Jeff. So Jeff is of the blood. So they need to bring it to Jeff, and Jeff goes on a quest to save the world.
It's a boys' road trip with Cthulhu.
It is a poor attempt. It is someone who watched Shaun of the Dead and said, I want to do Cthulhu to this, made this movie.
What if I told you this predates Shaun of the Dead?
Oh my God.
I don't think that's true. I believe Shaun of the Dead came out in 2006.
It's not true, but what if I told you this 2004?
Then I would have apologized to this movie for falling asleep twice. I would have taken back all the negative things in my head.
Do you want to go ahead and issue another apology to Shark Side of the Moon?
So Shark Side of the Moon has to now have 4 stars because it was in focus. I could hear what everyone was saying. Everyone got paid, and I didn't fall asleep. Now, based on that,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sticking to my guns. Each one of these movies, the other one that you also did not like as much as Sharkside, Croc, they each further reaffirmed that maybe Sharkside should have been a 1 for me.
You put Croc above Shark. I put Shark above. I put Shark above Croc.
Who would win in a fight, a croc or a shark?
I mean, those sharks were pretty fast.
Are we on the moon?
We're in neutral ground.
Okay.
So like the atmosphere.
I did not like this movie. I thought I would.
I thought you would too, honestly.
I thought you would until I rewatched it.
I read H.P. Lovecraft. I read the new Cthulhu lore stuff. I generally like movies based on his writing. This one is not one of those movies.
Is this because this is, as far as I can tell, the only non-serious take at a Cthulhu, like, Lovecraft movie? Like, this is... I couldn't think of any other horror comedies off the top of my head that were Lovecraftian.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I don't think... I can't think of any either.
Reanimator.
Reanimator,
okay.
Reanimator had some humor to it, but I still think it wasn't the whole. It wasn't just slapstick ridiculous. Like, it was still being a good horror movie, just with some ridiculous over the topness that as a result was comedic, but I still think it was a serious take at horror. I ran out of breath there. I forgot to breathe.
We can. So all right, I have problems with this movie. But let me say something positive about it that I really did like, which is the opening sequence, the opening title sequence is fantastic. The
animation?
The animation and like a colored pencil, I'd say like old-timey Navigator map style of the monsters that here be monsters kind of stuff. And it's all pictures of sea monsters introducing the credits. And I thought that art direction was great. It gave me a lot of hope for this movie. If the movie had been this and 30 minutes long, maybe it would have been great. Perfect. If the movie had stopped after the first credits, Ryan...
If we didn't have any of the characters or any of the plot, this movie would have been good.
You say you had characters and plot. I say you had people forcing jokes in your face for a good 90 minutes and trying way too hard at shouting what they thought were funny things at me that just did not land.
So you're saying you're not a fan of our podcast, is what you're saying?
I'm saying as a member, our podcast is Cthulhu trite. It belongs in a kiddie pool with McGregor, Gregory, whoever the random
Gary.
fish person, Gary, fishman Gary.
Okay, look, I've
The
got
shadow
I've got
over
comments.
Innsmouth Gary. Yes.
I've got comments to your comments. Okay.
No. Let me say one more thing.
Oh shit!
That explains my entire take on this movie. And so we get that beautiful title sequence, and then we open at the Miskatonic University, and they're in some kind of biology class, and one of the go ahead.
Is that before the boat? Is that before the boat scene?
That's after the beginning boat scene that meant nothing to anyone.
I mean, we had some death. I've got comments about the boat scene, but okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't remembering incorrectly. Go on.
Yeah, you're correct. That's their we're gonna hook you with this mystery of what's happening on the boat scene. I'd like to point out that boat scene and the beach scene are the only time we're actually next to bodies of water.
Yes, but there's a point.
In a Cthulhu movie.
They explain it.
No. Yeah, they explain it as a way of filming this movie in the California desert. Sure, I got it.
It made sense.
It really did. But so
Captain Olaf had a point.
I actually liked Captain Olaf.
Everyone likes Captain Olaf. He's the best.
What great points you're making.
The Miskatonic University, they're in a lecture hall, and one of the students raises their hand and asks the question, how can anything but microbes survive at that pressure under the water? And the professor says, I assure you that the human mind cannot comprehend what lurks at the bottoms of the murky deep, something like that. So we have a legitimate science question, which is answered with, because mystery.
Well, I think he actually says something about squid brains. Squid intelligence, squid is very different from human intelligence. Like, they've tried to measure it, and they've found that, like, squid are, like, super intelligent, but it's very different from our intelligence.
He says that before the question, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's the thing that...
That's not the answer to the question.
Well...
Because his answer was mystery!
Okay, so my comments on your comments...
Flame me. Do it. Come at me, bro.
Give me a second, because it feels like so long ago that you said this, even though clearly it was not a break in time.
I'm sorry. Do you feel attacked? Do you feel like I slapped your face with tentacles and goo?
Ooh.
Okay, look, I'm legitimately trying to remember everything you just said.
Yeah?
Let's see, what was I was gonna... Okay. Shit, what the fuck did you say?
I said I liked the title sequence.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, that's what I was forgetting. So, the director actually did the animation for the opening credits.
Excellent.
So, that was a nice little touch on his part, but apparently you didn't like anything else he did with the movie.
Within 5 minutes of this movie, I knew, well, I guess 10 minutes, I knew that one of our Toon-made characters had to either be the director or the writer, because that was the only excuse for what was happening.
Is that what happened?
And is it Charlie is the writer.
Charlie
Wrote this.
is the
is
writer. Devin McGinn. Or Jen.
And a whole bunch of the McGinns helped produce this.
Sure, it's a family affair.
Family affair. So I get it. This is a project of love. Like, people wanted to make this, and they were inspired by some other movies, some better movies, and I got whole heapins of fish rape.
Whole heapins of fish rape. That's the first comment. The second comment is it true that you dislike this movie because it is lampooning a bit of Lovecraft, and you are 100% on board for everything Lovecraft did and who he was as a person?
I did not agree to any of those statements.
Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing? He's untouchable. He's a perfect person who had great
Mr. Lovecraft
views
was problematic
everything.
even in his time.
So that's actually one of my complaints in the movie is I feel like if you do a Lovecraft adaptation, you should go out of your way to
point out what a racist douche
he is, and this movie had no people of color in it.
I don't think they knew any people of color, and this was
in Southern California.
This came out in 2009, and it really wasn't being brought back up how problematic Lovecraft was at the time. Like, that's really kind of gotten a push lately online, like in the last, I want to say, 5-10 years.
And there's no people of color, and there's also no women characters.
Oh, you're forgetting Nana?
No.
Who says fuck and gets yelled at by her grandson?
That's a joke machine.
I mean, you say joke machine. I just say
that's a sex object.
Verbal punching bag.
What else are the women supposed to be? /S.
So yeah, compare this to.
What'd you say?
I made sure there was. I said /S. I wanted people to know I was being sarcastic.
What is /S? What?
It indicates that the statement was sarcasm for people.
So you don't have to do /S when you're talking, because you can just sound sarcastic.
But I don't know if that comes across properly.
I am not being sarcastic when I say I fell asleep twice watching this
movie. Loves.
So
he's not being
compare
sarcastic.
this to Lovecraft Country.
Oh no, we can't do that.
Feel like you have to.
No, that would be unfair. One of them is great, and then there's this one.
Well, they're trying to be two different things.
Agreed. That's two. This one is. I agree with you, Kenny. This one is something I haven't seen attempted yet, which is a comedy, farcical take on the Cthulhu mythos.
Right. We've seen plenty of low budget Cthulhu,
and some of it has been great,
and some of it has been awful,
awfully great. And this one, I don't know why. I think the humor in it just very loud and forced. And nothing. I'm at the point where I appreciate more subtle stuff, and this nothing subtle.
Yeah, that's true. This is not subtle at all.
I think it's a product of its time. I mean, like you said, Shaun of the Dead came out about 5-6 years earlier. People would never stop talking about that. Rightfully so. It is fantastic. I'm gonna mention It's Always Sunny just because Jeff played Lil Kev on there. That kind of comedy's coming out where it's just kind of brash, rude, crude, in your face, and it's smarter than a lot of people give it credit for.
It's one of the smartest shows on television. I'll fight you to the death.
Yeah, there's no disagreeing there.
You want to talk about It's Always Sunny? Because I'll talk about that.
Okay.
oh God.
I've seen it all.
I think they already do that.
Recently.
I think they already do that.
Okay.
It's not clever. It's not it's not remaking the wheel. It's not it's not yeah. It's not a lot of things. Okay.
It really isn't.
But it is what it is for a low budget or even a no budget movie. It had one consistent goal. Even the effects were decent for what we're getting here. It knew what it wanted to be, and it just leaned into it, and I appreciated that.
It took a big swing, and it missed every pitch.
Okay, I get the feeling we're not gonna go through this beat by beat.
Maybe I don't know. We can if you want.
Oh no. Okay, we can't. Look. Okay, look.
Maybe
before we get to the university, we get on the boat. Okay?
Yeah, back it up. Let's go longer.
We're backing up. Let's get into this baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first note is we got these two, jamokes, jablomies.
Jablomies.
Yeah,
I mean, sailors, maybe.
Well, I don't think they're sailors.
Well, that's
a profession.
Yeah, I don't think they're
They're
sailors.
sailors on the CCC get eaten by Cthulhu.
Oh
they're
God!
not actually get eaten by Cthulhu,
these
though.
two fools.
I wrote nice shirt
on a boat.
Nice shirt.
And they've got this boat. Like, I'm so glad we bought a boat and we can come out here and we're retired, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, how do these fools retire early? Because they're pretty young and they're also pretty dumb. And then I'm thinking, it doesn't look like anyone ever taught them how to boat properly. And then the boat's it's an okay size, but then like the one guy goes down in the lower area to grab some drinks and it's just a small entryway. And he hears some noises back on the deck where his buddy was left. And he comes back. He's blocking the entire doorway, and he can't find his buddy. And then he's like, "What?" And he doesn't see his buddy. So he thinks he doesn't immediately think maybe he fell off
drunk.
the boat. He's thinking,
Yeah.
He's like, "How the fuck did he get past me? He's not small."
Yeah.
And I was
joke
laughing
number
pretty
one.
good at that. I was laughing.
Okay.
And then he goes back under there. And
I'm
we
laughing
get the buddy
at you laughing.
Kenny's a child.
I wish I could have watched this with you. I think I would have appreciated it more.
I have watched it with Kenny, and it is a good time.
I think this is clouding. Yes, go ahead.
And then the friend gets dragged across the windows dead, and then the other guy goes back to the stairs, and then he gets pulled out, and then and that's actual pig guts apparently
really
dropped on the stairs there, and then we cut to the university, and we do all that stuff that you talked about. Nobody cares about university stuff.
Nah.
And then we cut to our main
movie
characters, Lil Kev and Charlie.
But not that Charlie.
You're skipping the Council of Old Men?
Look, I skip a lot of things to the old men. Old men aren't people.
Oh god, the
Council
Council
dude
of old,
must deliver
white-haired men.
Of old white men.
The oldest of the old.
Must deliver the relic to the last descendant of Lovecraft.
But he hasn't had weapons training.
Well, in years. You got to keep up on your
die.
training.
Yeah, my money's on him dying, brutally being killed within 2 days.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think he holds his own as first.
Sure, but
so then we cut to Jeff and Charlie at their little office. You can tell from the cubicles, and Jeff's trying to work, and Charlie's just a goof, got his little figures, and he's getting rode hard by the boss because he ain't doing his job. We're establishing what these characters are like. Charlie's the fun one. Jeff's the stickler in the mud, and then stick in the mud. Then we get Stacy, attractive co-worker, come over and clearly trying to get Jeff to come over and go to Pound Town on him, and he's trying to gently say no because he's a gentleman and no means no. AJ. Charlie's all like, "Hey, you're an idiot. You should have been taking that to Pound Town," but not like that. They didn't say it differently. They used different words. I didn't write the script, but my note was, Jeff cockblocked the shit out of himself. Then, okay, I was laughing pretty good at this. Jeff points out to Charlie. She's like, "Charlie, when's the last time you got laid?" And Charlie says, "Oh, just 2 weeks ago. I was sleeping with that chick from accounting." And it cuts him going down on the chick in accounting, and she's feeling it. And one of Charlie's figurines falls off the shelf and lands and hits her in the eye. And she's all mad about her face. And he's like, "Oh man, this is a limited edition of figurine." And she's like, "What about my face?" He's like, "It's really rare." And she gets mad. And...
Okay, Kenny, here's the thing. You describing this is way more entertaining than the movie was.
Well, my
you
note
have a
there
magical
was...
touch that this movie just I don't know what it is. You are magic.
My note on that scene was that collectible falling on the chick's face during sex would 100% have happened to someone in our group. Like, there's no doubt
the queen
in my
alien
mind.
is safely on a shelf away, all right? That's where you put her.
Like, Dexter fell off the shelf.
Bobblehead Dexter.
Trash bag hit her. The trash bag hit her in the eye. I would absolutely be more concerned about the figurine. Those things aren't cheap. And then they drive away in their car that has a squirrel on the side to go back to their apartment. And I don't really remember what happens right after that.
So
is that does the old guy show up at the house? At that point,
yeah. He's in the house when they open the door.
Well, no. We don't get back to the apartment yet. No. We cut
to the Cthulhu lair.
Yeah.
Where I again write nice shirt because the Star Spawn is wearing one of the boat guys' unicorn shirt.
Yeah, with
two guns.
Two guns fired.
And it's a nice shirt.
It's a sweet
and
shirt.
That's not the last time I'll bring up nice shirts.
That's
right.
Fair.
Look, good shirts in this, and I still say, like, ever since we watched that movie, anytime we've had any interaction with any sort of Lovecraftian creature, be it in a D&D session or something like that, that is my frame of reference for what they look like and interact like. I go back to the Star Spawn there.
With the nice shirt?
With the nice shirt. Like, that's always what I picture. So, like, this movie had a profound effect on me.
Yeah.
Whenever we watched this, like, a decade ago. Okay, so now we get back to the apartment. Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you have something on that scene?
I was going to say that Star Spawn, the creature makeup, I guess design, looks good. But I was getting... and then the hybrid fish creatures that were introduced to later, which are like at least half-body actual fish suits, look okay. So the creatures are okay. It was giving me Psycho Gorman vibes, at least with the
very much
with the designs and like some of the gore. But everything else was like a really, really, really bad episode of Buffy.
This did come out before Psycho Gorman.
And before Buffy.
And before Buffy?
And before...
No, I don't know.
No, the creature effect, especially Gary later on, looked great.
Yeah, half fish, half man, half like half abs and muscles. He's a whole heaping Gary.
Whole heaping of fish.
Gary was very integral into the part. Like, he absolutely needed to be in this movie, or the plot of this movie could not have gone forward.
We're not there yet.
Gary and a children's...
We're not there yet.
Cool. Okay. Could we be?
Because in the apartment, the
old
man does a lore dump, and then they do... and then they use a comic book drawings to deliver Cthulhu mythos, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, and because that's the other side thing is the two main characters are supposedly working on a comic book project together, and Charlie is an animator and all that jazz, the inker, drawer, whatever they call him. Yeah, that's the comic book stuff, and this was a nice touch. My question here is, if we were a distant relative of some famous figure, who would it be? And how would it help us?
Billy the Kid. Now you fill in the blank. Oh,
it's a Mad Lib. Okay, Billy the Kid.
I started it, and now you have to say how that helps us. Billy the Kid.
Your innate ability to wield firearms.
Well, he was a rebel. Yeah.
I just read a book that suggested that Billy the Kid was a werewolf.
I listened to like all 8 hours of last podcast on Billy the Kid, and I don't think they brought up him being a werewolf one time.
Well, they haven't read the story Mongrels, apparently, because
Stephen Graham Jones.
Oh yeah, baby,
it's great. The Billy the Kid versus Dracula movie was a far more accurate representation of the book than the Dracula movie with Keanu.
Cool. What about this movie?
I don't. But look,
Okay.
this movie didn't have any Draculas or Wolfmen.
Not one Dracula.
Not one Dracula. And the
Dracula.
problem with Draculas is they don't like sunlight.
Oh, the flashback scene with the comic book and stuff. Cthulhu fucking up dinosaurs.
That was
like,
fun.
Wielding the Triceratops head like a pointy shield. That was great.
Again,
that was so
the
good.
animated stuff was good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, the whole thing was good. Oh, we all agree on that.
Oh, yes.
And then, okay, so the Cthulhu-ish people show up, and the old man pulls out this dank-ass hammer thing with a chain and a spike on it. Like, that thing was cool. What do you call that? Anyone know? I want a dank-ass hammer with a chain and a spike on it. You guys don't have that?
No.
We'll figure that out later. Don't worry about it. So they escape. Old man. Okay, old man kicks some ass, and then a real one shows up.
Oh my god!
Look, old man got one, and then he gets got.
He gets got by the Star Spawn because Star Spawn's got telepathy, and he can make your brain hurt.
No bitch.
But I don't think he did that then.
I don't know that
He
did
didn't do that.
Now,
no, he just went to
he didn't need to.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat against Old Man Miskatonic.
So our guys are running away from there, and they're like, "What do we do? We don't know anything about this Cthulhu bullshit." But it seems like Charlie knew some. But then they remember, oh, we have this acquaintance from high school that was really into that nerd shit. Paul. Yeah. So let's just go drive over and see Paul. And so we go over there, we get Paul introduced. Paul, they knock on the door. Paul opens it. He's this big bearded man who's got like a fish hat on or something.
And he's wearing another nice shirt.
And he's wearing another
another Cthulhu shirt.
Yeah, and then they immediately shut the door on him after he opens it. I thought that was great. It's like, nope, I don't need this help. And they're like, hey, you remember us, buddy? You know? And
he was like, yeah, you used to punch me in the back of the head.
Yeah, good times,
did you miss
right?
this? Like, Jeff broke Paul's arms.
Oh, that's a...
Paul calls
yeah.
Jeff the Bone Breaker.
Yeah. And that's fun because that's foreshadowing because that happens again.
Boy,
that's a smart movie.
Well, are you saying Paul breaks, or Jeff breaks Paul's arms again?
No, but his arms do get broken.
They do get broken. Right. So Jeff up to this point is like a limp noodle, right? He's not the woman who's clearly attracted to him. He's not going for it. He seems like he's just kind of going through the motions at his job. But then we find out, oh no, he was a horrible bully in high school. I don't care about him. I don't care about him anymore. I didn't care about him before, and now I really don't like him. So that just leaves me with Charlie, whose job is to do what?
Be the comic sidekick. No, Jeff, look, kids are going to bully. I think he's so standoffish now because I think he's grown from it and feels bad about it. Like, it's not okay to be a bully ever, but I think you can grow out of it.
I think they just threw that in the script for
I think I'm growing
shits
into
and
it.
giggles.
Maybe. But I think I just wanted to point out, like, why would Paul want to help them? They've been...
Because he's lonely.
Yeah, and there's...
He ignores Jeff at the time and then just, like, starts talking to Charlie, and then Charlie and Paul are brothers from another mother once it comes to Cthulhu stuff. Because they just hit it off right off the bat.
Yeah, they really start bonding. Because he's like, how can I help you, Charlie?
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, now I'm willing to follow Charlie and Paul. Jeff, just go die by a squid.
Well, of course, the writer gives himself the most pleasant character.
He gives himself the most scenery to chew. That's for sure.
Right?
I wouldn't call it pleasant.
They go into the...
I'd call it...
They go into the house. They go into the house. Clearly, they've told Paul some of the story here. They're near Grandma. Now, Paul... What's happening with Paul? He's trying to make a sandwich?
Trying to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Wants to make a peanut butter sandwich.
But he can't. Because
Why can't he, Daniel? Why can't
the grandma always uses all the peanut butter.
And what does he...
I want to have a
because
sandwich.
She's a peanut butter whore.
If my grandma wasn't such a peanut butter whore, fuck you.
You're laughing, and I'm just putting my hand to my forehead, going, "Oh God, you really think this is funny, movie?"
I feel like this is what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna be in Kenny's shoes for Blubberella, and you guys just aren't gonna be having it.
I'm actually pretty favorable about Blubberella.
Well, Daniel used to be pretty favorable about this till he rewatched it. And I'm the one who hasn't seen Blubberella.
I wonder if it holds up. Yeah, it's... Kitty, I don't know, man. Look, it's just so... This is
cinema, okay?
It's so loud and rough and in your face.
I wasn't having a bad time.
This is art house cinema.
Do you remember when we watched the movie Cthulhu?
Wait, was it just called Cthulhu?
It was just called Cthulhu. It should have been called A Shadow Over Innsmouth. So Cthulhu, we watched, low budget, about a guy who gets a phone call from his dad saying that his mom has died and he has to go back to the seaside town. And this is where his dad's like, aren't you going to get married and have kids? And he's like, you know I'm gay, Dad. Why don't you talk to the sister? And the sister's like, I can't have kids. Remember this movie? Because it was good.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, that one was okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't as good as this.
Oh. I mean...
Look.
Oh. I liked Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, everyone likes Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Are you just doing horror comedies?
Yeah. So
okay.
it's not that I don't like comedy.
So we're establishing what kind of comedy you enjoy. The funny kind.
Yeah. The one that's not screaming at me.
Subtle. Subtle.
I don't even... That one's not too... Well...
Compared to this?
Look.
This one is shouting
this is
the
too smart for
punchlines
you.
out at you.
Literally, yeah.
But see, that's too hot. That's the joke.
I don't think it's not a joke.
At a certain point, I just
God.
started writing down the one-liners.
Oh. Before they got to Paul, when they were trying to drive away, the other creature latches onto their car, and it's one of those sucker fish thing, and puts its teeth and stuff. And then it's got the hands that are also sucker mouths. That bothered me.
I thought that was a good creature.
They didn't like it though.
Yeah.
Too bad we never saw it again.
No, it didn't bother me because it looked bad or anything. It bothered me because it made me uncomfortable.
You got scared.
It made you have feelings, stirrings. Deep down.
How did that thing function? You can't do anything with those suction cup teeth.
Don't start nitpicking the logistics of creature survival in this movie. All right.
So, descendants of Lovecraft get a genetic immunity to madness.
Yeah, it's well established.
I think that's neat.
Yeah, so what did we get? We got apparently Billy the Kid, and we can be...
We're going to shoot them with our guns.
And we're going to shoot rope at the stars. Okay, so now we got our full team. Paul's on the team. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. Paul's on the team. Martin Starr shows up. Martin Starr's like, I know you're not wearing that Cthulhu mask. You remember when they're fighting in the backyard? They're training. Training. So Paul's got pool noodles in their combat, and and this is probably the best acting in the movie. Well, other than Captain Olaf.
I don't like the way this movie depicts nerd culture.
I mean, it does a better job than Big Bang Theory.
I think it nailed it.
Okay. So Martin Starr, our biggest name in the movie, he's very upset Paul opened the mask. And
the details,
like, I will
feel the need to
Hold
share.
on. There's a reason. There's a reason. Oh, he goes up. He's like, oh, you don't think I'll damage this mask? Oh, I will. He plucks the eyeball off the mask and puts it in his mouth and spits on Paul. It's like, we're not friends anymore. Something like that. And then he leaves. We never see him again. And that makes me sad because that means that whole thing.
So how did this scene propel the story forward or add anything to the film?
It did not.
Alternatively, option C,
We got Martin
was
Starr.
it just to watch two Star Wars kids ineffectually smacking each other with plastic swords? And
did nothing for the story.
Pool tubes.
I think you're
It did
missing
nothing
the
for
fact. You're
Thank
missing
you, Kenny.
the fact
Thank you for acknowledging
that it delivered
the giant
Martin
Cthulhu
Starr to
squid
us.
in the room. It did nothing.
It just gave us Martin Starr just because, and I loved it for that.
Oh, God.
Why is he there? I don't know.
I don't know. But it's Martin Starr.
It certainly made the movie a good 5 minutes longer.
Oh, God.
Jeff and Charlie are watching them play fight, and they call it a nerd black hole. At some point, the grandma calls Paul fat and retarded.
They drop a lot of
This
hard
movie's
R's
not
in
very
here.
PC.
No. But it is a Lovecraft movie, so that makes sense.
True. But they don't drop the kind of language Lovecraft would have dropped. Praying mantis versus salamander.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my sweet Cthulhu Jesus. Look.
What do you
I
think?
think
Yeah,
Salamander wins.
I think the salamander
just 'cause
eats the
I'm-
mantis.
Yeah, it's got
It's the
mass.
mass. It's the mass.
But,
Salamander
okay,
takes out the mantis. Mantis
but
gets in a
if-
couple hits, but they're not effective enough
What
to
if
break
it's
through
a
Salamander's
mantis
skin.
the size of a Japan? You got a Japanese salamander, and then a mantis the size of a Japanese salamander.
I like how you're trying to talk about anything else
No, this is part
but
of the
this
movie.
movie. Oh, was it?
It's part of the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh my God! Maybe I fell asleep during this part.
And then they talked about Are Dolphins robots?
Okay, I don't
Yes.
remember. So this must have been sleepy time. What else?
And then in the cultist compound, this is all during the road trip bit where they're just driving around, you know. And then we go back to the cultist compound, and then the deep ones, they finally made their way ashore, and they eat the cultists.
As
There
they
you
do.
go. That happens.
Don't be a cultist.
That was after they had already come ashore and eaten some beach.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Beach
you're right.
campers.
Yeah.
Now, were those campers like family members of the director, the writer? Why are they there?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean,
This would have been, that
can-
scene in particular would have been an opportune moment for a goblin cameo.
not enough goblins in our movies.
Like, you stick two goblins in the crowd, and then you play Where's Waldo, but it's Where's the Goblin.
I have seen that scene, and it's done better in Humanoids from the Deep.
Okay, I was going to talk about that at the end for my.
For your recommendation?
recommendations.
Okay. Well, we're on the same page
Absolutely.
on what are better movies, and that is one of them.
Oh, there's not a lot.
And Paul also gives Charlie his friendship bracelet that he made for him.
No, he
in
wants
school.
to. Yeah. That's what I want to talk about next. The hotel scene.
The hotel scene's pretty good.
They're trying to find a place to stay, so Charlie and Paul stay in the car while Jeff goes in there to try to get into this hotel, and we're introduced to Jimbo, the hotel manager guy, played by, looks like Harry Carp is his name, and I recognize him from things. And he's playing this just really creepy hotel worker dude, and I think Jeff says he wants some snacks and he can't find a vending machine. And he says, oh, we have a snack rack over there. And it's like, yeah, bend over and get one and see what we got. I'm like, oh,
Red
no.
flag number one.
And then when he stands back up, he's right behind him. And he's like, I forget what he says before, but he's like, yeah, well, I mean, if you want to have sex with me or whatever.
Like, this is my sex face.
This is my sex face. And then while that's going on, Paul is trying to give Charlie the friendship bracelet that he made in 3rd grade. And he's like, no, it's not like that. Like, this is a friendship bracelet. It's like, look, I don't see you that way. Like, I'm not like that.
That I thought was funny because he's not like disgusted that he might be gay. He's like more annoyed.
Right? And then Jeff comes running out after the "this is my sex face" thing. He's like, start the car, start the car. Car's already started. He hops in the car freaking out, and Charlie's like, Paul's gay. Oh, it's a masterpiece of cinema.
I mean, so we later find out that
he's a cultist.
That he's a cultist. Why did he not try to take them? Is it because he didn't have his cultist friends with him?
He needed the cultist friends.
He needed some more goons. Okay. Yeah.
And
so they don't stay in the hotel, so they got to go sleep in the car.
But they sleep in the car, like, where? Right
12
outside
feet,
the
12
hotel?
feet outside, sure.
12 feet away from... They drive 12 feet or from
just
the
far
current
enough.
location? Because the cultist and his buddies find him, right up morning.
But before that, we got to talk about Samurai Fish, League of Gorillas, Monkey Fish Army.
Oh, the bonding?
Yeah, the bond between Charlie and Paul. They find out we're not so different, you and I. Samurai Fish is good, was my notes. Mm-hmm. And then they said a Monkey Fish Army. Paul's like, a Monkey Fish Army? That's not out of the realm of realistic.
It's not.
And I'm like, yeah, that's perfectly believable.
Mm-hmm. And then they say, nighty-night, man.
Nighty-night, man. They wake up, and the creepy store guy is outside the window, and Paul's back there like, there's like 3 of us. We'll take you out. And they're like, shut up, Paul. And then he gets out of the car, and he's got friends, and he says, you keep playing ball, and maybe I won't have to play with yours.
Yep, he does. He sure does.
And then let's see, we try to distract
like
the group.
trying to explain like a story to someone, and the person explaining it is like really into it, but you really had to be there.
And it's like, this movie's so bad, but I love it so much. So then Paul, who at this point he's really, I'll tell you what he is, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, okay. He's dollar store Zach Galifianakis.
Another one of my references for this was The Hangover.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, Wolfman.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Hangover was 2009.
So this was before it?
Same year.
The Hangover stole the lone wolf concept from this movie?
Same year. Zach Galifianakis. Hangover took it from what was it, that Tom Hanks one or whatever, Bachelor Party? Yeah, so he does the distraction. He grabs the fake relic that he had out of the backpack and takes off running. I'm just like, he ain't gonna make it.
We completely missed that they have a map to Captain Olaf that Paul has told them they have to go visit because he's dealt with these deep ones before.
I mean, yeah, nobody cares why they're running there.
And that's the entire reason for the trip.
And that's why we're in the desert, because Captain Olaf doesn't want to be near the water.
You can't have a Kraken attack in the middle of the desert. That wouldn't happen.
Very hard.
Sea donkey. Let me tidy up. Yeah, he runs. He gets out of breath pretty quickly. They catch him, and then they knock him out. And then our boys, Charlie and Jeff, make it to a random camper van thing out in the middle of the desert.
They follow the map there, yeah.
And Captain Olaf rats himself out by saying, there's no Captain Olaf here. It's like, well, we didn't mention Captain Olaf. Classic. That's never been done before. Said something, my notes say he said something about a sea donkey. Before he lets him into the RV, he says, let me tidy up.
Then does no tidying.
They get into it. I think Charlie looks up and sees this taxidermied crab up there, and he goes, that's a nice crab. And Captain Olaf says, sure, until you find it in your pants. And then he's ranting about the story, and then he name drops Color Out of Space.
Maybe you have to be high to watch this.
I think Ryan might have been high during Barbarian with snake tunnels. maybe I had a little something here. And then he drops the line of the movie about how the deep ones like to have sex with humans.
They have a hankering to mate with us.
Whole heapings of fish raping. Whole heapings of it.
It kind of seemed like he was down with it.
He wasn't opposed.
Well,
I hear a noise in the back of the RV.
Do you think?
I think
he
missed
was
opportunity.
Okay, missed opportunity.
The missed opportunity is to have Gary be his kid.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
I agree. Actually,
all the
I thought
fish
Gary
raping.
should have been his own. Whole heapings.
All whole heaping. So I'm like, okay, but the captain didn't really seem too off-put when he was describing that part. And he's like, so that we get all these hybrids. And I'm like, okay, so... And then we find Gary in the back, who's got gills down his throat, and he's in the kiddie pool, as you do in an RV.
But the gills were not in the water. That was my problem.
Wait, I thought that was funny.
That doesn't make
That's
any
why
sense.
it's funny. that's what in this movie does not make sense.
That's where I drew the line.
I drew a line in the sand, and I said, "Demon, you shall not pass. The gills are not in the water."
But the demon is treacherous.
And then Olaf, I don't remember what he said this to, but Olaf's like, "I like the cut of your jib." He said it.
That's definitely something I've heard. But missed opportunity for Gary to be his son. That would have given Gary a reason to actually be there.
For sure, for sure. Let's see, and we're skipping a lot here, but who cares? Jeff and Olaf have to go to Olaf's cave that he has there, where he buried some weapons.
Why did he do that?
Because all the depression of Gary being around gave him suicidal thoughts.
That's why he put the bullets.
That's why he kept the bullets
outside.
in the trash.
In the trash.
That's not why he had the dynamite in the sea chest.
Yeah.
Well, he's a pirate. He's got to have a sea chest, and you got to put something in it, and dynamite's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that where you like hide gifts around your house and you try to forget that they're
you
there.
surprise yourself. Yeah.
It's like finding $20 in a sock and you're like,
sure,
oh!
I do that with food, just leaving it everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're gonna go do that. Before they do that, though, Captain Olaf sprinkles like just fucking fish.
See, that was
on
funny
Gary.
too.
That was I did enjoy that. That was funny.
Yeah.
You know why?
And then
no one was screaming at me. It was just happening.
Oh, look, the movie shines when Olaf's around. And then Jeff and Charlie, I pointed out their little secret handshake where they just slapped hands and bumped elbows. Yeah. That was the worst handshake I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay, that was dumb. Fantastic. Yeah, lame ass handshake. Gills are never in the water. I like the cut of your jib. Jeff and Olaf are gone. Charlie's left in charge of. Wait, they got Paul back at this point? Paul was dropped off outside the RV with broken arms.
But he escapes. He escapes his captivity by falling out of a window, saying, "I'm a ninja eagle."
Yeah, and then landing.
Right.
I mean, that's funny because he's clearly neither a ninja nor an eagle.
Well, he got away.
He got away.
He did,
like a ninja or an eagle would.
Get away, but he broke his arms, and I'm thinking of Deadpool, like all the animals, the T-Rex.
Yeah,
but
sure.
That didn't happen because if Deadpool had been out before this movie, they definitely would have stolen it for it.
Oh, for sure. I think Deadpool gets a lot from this movie. A lot of movies really riff off of this movie.
Yes.
So Charlie's left in charge of Gary and broken arm Paul, and Charlie's got a little bit of some munchy action going on, so he's eating some saltines, and he goes back there with Gary. It's like, oh, yeah, Gary, you want some saltines? And he crushes some saltines on Gary, and then he sees some sour cream and onion chips on the other side of Gary's little pool, so he tries to reach over and get them, and he causes the pool to spill some. And he's like, oh no, Gary, you need water, even though there's clearly
a lot of water still in the pool.
So he drags Gary out of the pool into the front of the RV and tries to lean his head over into the sink and starts filling up the sink. It's like, okay, there you are, Gary, there's some water. His head is not even touching the water.
But the sink's going to fill up. It's going to be fine.
It never does.
Well, here's the thing. It turns out Gary needs salt water.
Well, yeah, so So they come back and Gary's dead in the sink. They're like, Charlie, what did you do? Well, you can't leave me in charge of this. I can't even keep a goldfish alive. Like, this is a lot different than a goldfish. I was like, well, I spilled his pool and needed water. You didn't add salt to the water, did you? Like, that's the problem. Not the fact that he's not even touching the water. And the gills still aren't in the water. Yeah, come on, Charlie. It's common sense to add salt to the water. How is that common sense? I've never had to deal with a merman before. And I'm on Charlie's side here. How is that common sense? I wouldn't have thought to put salt in the water for a merman. I'm just saying, Charlie got did
I
dirty
think
there.
some of these silences you should not truncate, and you just leave them in.
But it's important that we had Gary, and it's important that he died. Because why do we need Gary, Ryan?
To feed the other fishies.
That's right, as bait.
You heartless bastard.
Couldn't they have just thrown out some raw meat and done the
Did they
exact
have raw
same
meat?
thing?
Did they have raw
No,
meat?
because they had a perfectly good Gary.
And a perfectly good Gary.
But, I mean, take Gary out of the movie and just
I would
substitute him as raw meat in the fridge, in the freezer.
Yeah, but then you...
Chum.
Then you,
Oh, my goodness. Chum. Okay,
Then-
he's got leftover chum from when he used to be on the boat. It's kept frozen for all these years. He hasn't touched it since the incident.
that we
and
don't
he takes
speak about. It's the same incident that Mimosa's wife died in.
What?
Aww.
You laughed and then you got confused?
Yeah. What?
He wanted to be part of the
Mimosa.
team.
What?
The drink?
But what?
You guys haven't listened to Croc.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you spent more time with Croc than we have at this
But
point.
what?
What do you mean, but what?
Low budget
I'm in the
Momoa.
dock here.
You called, in Croc, you called the low-budget Momoa Mimosa.
Who? Me?
Yes,
That's comedic genius.
Couldn't be.
it is.
I don't know. That's
And
a little forced. It
in
feels
that
like it's being
movie,
shouted at me.
He
I agree.
references... See, I thought you were referencing that when you said the incident. Because in that movie, he says his wife died in an incident, and then they don't elaborate.
So, okay, yeah. So the bad guys show up. We got the guns, but we don't have the bullets for the guns because Olaf put them out by his trash so he wouldn't kill himself.
Good. It's a good. That's a
So
good
they-
mental health.
That's
doing.
dark,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
So you don't
Same-
self-harm.
Yeah. So we shove Gary out the window as bait, and then we go out to get the ammo. At some point, the captain gets attacked and he's dying. And wait. First, Gary's thrown out the window. They're eating on. The captain's like, choke on him, and I like that. Yeah, Captain Olaf goes down though. And
Well,
he's having
the
his
star
moment where he
spawn
gets
shows up,
Yeah, as
and
he does.
Olaf throws a trident, I guess,
Yep.
into him. And
Adam.
Adam.
I think he catches it.
Star spawn
and then he-
catches it.
He does the star
He
scream
does
thing.
the Star
not
Scream.
Starscream.
He transforms into a truck or whatever the fuck Starscream does.
And then Olaf stabs Charlie in the foot with the spear.
Yeah. But
first.
Jeff is okay because he's got that genetic immunity.
He's got that Lovecraft blood in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is useless.
So he's able to do something or another. I'm not.
No, he just stands there through the whole thing. He doesn't do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of useless there.
Don't they shoot him?
Yeah. Oh, he does shoot him, but for like Olaf manages to throw the spear. Starscream
Deflects
Lord,
missiles
Star-Lord,
back at him.
Yeah, throws it back. So Captain's going down, and I think at that point, they'd already thrown the dynamite, but he caught it and it didn't go off. So then Jeff shoots the dynamite.
No.
Blows
no,
him
no.
off.
Wait.
No,
Is
no,
that-
I hate to.
wait.
Okay,
I
wait.
hate to do this, but you're skipping ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's when
No,
we
I'm
do
trying to
the
help
Kraken
you out.
fight, which is brilliant.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we got Captain Olaf dying.
Yeah,
though.
Yes.
Olaf, no.
And he's having his little moment. And it's like, I can smell the ocean again. I can hear the seagulls. I freaking hate seagulls. And I thought that was
And
cool.
I thought, I said, seagulls? Stop it now. Hoo ha, hoo 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 ha, hoo hoo ha, hoo 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 ha. That's where my mind went. Ha.
That's a classic. Then they go back in the RV to hide from the monster, and they get back on
Starspawn, he fell next to a bucket of water, so he was able to put his hand in the water, but that water wouldn't have been salt water, would it?
No.
You know what we call that? We call that a plot hole.
Starscream's a full blood, though. He can do any water.
Starspawn.
Starscream.
Yeah, so he's coming back.
He comes back as a Kraken.
Why does he come back as a Kraken? When was that? Was that established previously in the lore? And I just missed it.
That was a surprise.
I think because he touched the water.
He came out of the water though when
he killed those guys. He was in Kraken form.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
very clever movie.
I did think transporting the usual naval Kraken fight onto dry land, onto an RV, I did think that was kind of funny and cool and clever and smart and stuff. Especially if you can't afford a boat on water and all that entails.
Except they afforded a boat and the water was free.
Water's not free, actually. Nestle has a tight grip on that.
They own the ocean.
Look, I'm sure these people owned a bathtub. They could have done miniature work in.
Well, I don't think they did own a bathtub, because even poor Gary was stuck in an inflatable pool.
Yeah, maybe poor Nana Gary just didn't want to hear any more of those words.
Yeah, she's a peanut butter whore.
Peanut butter whore.
And in that fight, there's practical tentacles and there's CG tentacles.
I couldn't tell the difference.
I could. And then the relic gets joined, and the underwater city of Riley, the door starts like unlocking or something, right? Opening it up.
Sure.
But then they shoot the dynamite, and then the relic breaks apart again, and so then the Riley goes back to sleep.
It really does.
Then they go to the Mountains of Madness, and that's the end of the movie.
When the tentacle things are flopping around and they climb on the roof, Paul's still downstairs because his arms don't work. So he's sitting there and he's like, my arms don't work and there are tentacle things around me and dynamite next to my penis. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't think I can express just how much fun it is listening to you talk about the movie. Because it's a whole different experience.
It's a good movie. Our good guys win. We can go to Charlie made his comic book about what they went through, and he's trying to this kid comes up and he's like not impressed, and he's like, this all really happened to me and my friend, and the kid's not buying it. It's like, that's bullshit. And he's just like, I'm trying to have a moment here. The kid doesn't care. And then Jeff shows up and is like, hey, Paul's got a plane, we know where to go, da 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 da. And I'm just thinking, like, comics don't make that much money. How did you guys afford a plane?
I think they're all hooked up with the Miskatonic University at this point.
That's got to be it, right?
They're the new new Illuminati.
They're the new blood.
Rich, you would have thought, here's the only problem with this movie. The only one, right?
One thing.
You would have thought they would have tried contacting the last descendant of Lovecraft earlier to kind of
give him a little warning
him for this.
What's
just
the point?
Like, we could have
train.
We could have full on.
What's the point? Cthulhu is real. They know the relics are out there, and he's the one that doesn't go mad.
Mm-hmm. They could have full on Buffy'd his ass.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Could have had a Giles. He could have been fighting these things while he was in high school instead of
could have made a better movie.
Could have made a movie.
That's tough. That's a near perfect movie with a great setup for a sequel that I can't believe they didn't make.
Still
Maybe
time.
they did, and we just didn't find the right dumpster that it was left in. But if we just go searching,
how dare you,
for it, we could maybe find it. I'm sorry.
Is this would you say this is the least favorite movie of what we've watched? Kenny?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Okay, so after we rewatched this movie, I actually reached out to Kyle Davis, who played Jeff, to just kind of ask him if there was anything he'd like to say about this movie.
And what'd he say?
He didn't respond. So I think that pretty well sums up what he probably thinks about this movie. In fact, it's not even mentioned on his Wikipedia.
Oh, man.
I'll have to go fix that.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Horrible Opinions Podcast, and
don't we normally do like a movie recommendation thing?
Oh,
Let's just do it now.
What actual movies would you recommend?
Reanimator.
Reanimator.
Yeah, you want good Lovecraft. Reanimator. Dagon. In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh,
in the Mouth of Madness, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What's that game? I think it's Call of Cthulhu.
That was a good one. What's the new one that's out that's really popular? The Sinking City. It's supposed to be pretty good. I feel like, again, we're mostly recommending actual good, like, serious-ish Cthulhu stuff. Or just kind of the elements of the cosmic horror. So, I don't know if this is really going to be right for people that actually like this. But, Event Horizon.
Yeah, that has a bit of a different tone.
That's a different...
Yeah, if we want to stick with more horror comedy-esque type
Tucker
things,
and Dale,
Tucker and
Shaun
Dale,
of the Dead,
mm-hmm.
Black Sheep. I'm just naming stuff.
That's a good movie.
What's the Cottage? The one with Andy Serkis?
Oh, yes, that was really good. That's one we should have recommended that after Barbarian. Underwater.
Oh, Underwater is really good. Underwater. Yeah.
Oh God, let's just watch. We could have watched that.
We're gonna do Underwater.
Underwater is really good.
Color Out of Space. Yeah. Go read some Lovecraft. Okay, and lined up for you on the next episode is 2022's Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And I highly recommend you watch that one before you listen to the episode, as there are some pretty key spoilers that, if are spoiled, will kind of ruin a bit of the movie for you. So go check that out and then meet back up with us in 2 weeks. Oh God, let's kill this.
Wait, I want to say goodbye. Or was that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
And always.
Wait, I want to say goodbye.
Oh God, and always.
Goodbye.
Always.
Goodbye.
I've been your very horrible host today, and I apologize, Kenny.
I apologize for nothing. And goodbye.
I don't accept any of your apologies.
Shark Side of the Moon, though.
It's getting better and better.
Like a fine wine.
You ain't seen nothing yet.